should use my left hand because it's still enough distance. And if I do this, it would be like. It will not be fine. God.
It's okay. No one watches these anyway.
4,000, 5,000, maybe 100,000 on Facebook. Just 100 and a few thousand people who are highly possible not knowing me at all, and highly possible I will never know them at all. Put in a notebook. Never travel to Southeast Asia. Hi everybody out there. It should be good evening to people in China, but in accordance to the time zone you're in, and it is CGTN now. My name is Gong Zhe, and this is Nick Moore from CGTN. We're now sitting inside a meeting room in the Wuzhen town in the World Internet Conference Center, and the conference is currently beginning. It has now come to the sub forums, and there are some people already talking about various topics in the room behind us.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, day 2 of the 3-day forum yesterday. Let's just recap what happened yesterday. So there was the big opening ceremony, and Xi Jinping, he sent some messages of congratulations.
Yeah.
And yeah, they ran through some of the big themes of this year's World Internet Conference. So we have, we're talking about a shared economy, common prosperity, and in the digital cyberspace age.
Yeah, a lot of people think that this topic is kind of too grand to talk about, maybe because everybody are sharing the same internet. So maybe we're living the same age, and maybe there's nothing. We're already collaborating on cybersecurity or something. So it might not be necessary to talk about this further. But really personally, I don't really think so. It's because different countries still have different rules on the internet and how they manage the network. Like I'm a Chinese, so I know a lot of rules of China's internet. So it's, you cannot mention pornography, and you should not download like pirated contents. Although I know there are still a lot of people doing it, but it is not allowed by the law. So and there are other restrictions, like you have to register your real name to those websites so you can post your comments on things.
Yeah, sure. And I think it's well known that China has a lot of restrictions on the internet, and you're probably out there asking, why does it have so many restrictions? Well, if you look at what's happening in Europe and America at the moment, big social media giants like Facebook, Twitter, they're all in trouble over fake news. There's a lack of regulation there. But also something pretty common on Facebook, Google as well, anyone can search anything online. It's completely unrestricted. There's a lot of dangerous content out there. The past 2 or 3 years, we've seen major terrorist attacks in Europe and the US. A lot of those people were probably indoctrinated by materials they found online. So these are all big arguments in favor of greater regulation online.
Yeah, so if you try to search like terms like how to make a gun or how to make pistols, and you try on the Alibaba platform on Taobao, if you put any even air pistol, you will find it will just direct you to a 404 page or something. It says that there's nothing on our platform about on this kind of thing, but there might be some people that posted some products on the website about weapons or dangerous things, but still the platform will automatically block them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and so yeah, there's a lot of focus on cybersecurity here, but let's talk about something a bit more positive. a lot more exciting for the future. We've had a lot of focus on AI, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things. That's going to be huge in the next few years.
I think you're quite interested in that area.
Yeah, AI, it covers basically everything, doesn't it? I mean, from the cars that we're going to drive in the future, they're going to be able to drive themselves around cities across the world. That's pretty amazing. And even in the world of finance, so what we're seeing happening now, even in the past few years, a lot of big finance companies are looking to AI to this artificial intelligence. They're called robo-advisors. They're not actual robots. These are really highly intelligent pieces of software, and they can do the menial, boring jobs that humans used to do. Number crunching, spreadsheets, all that kind of thing. And if you let artificial intelligence into the world of finance, it can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't need food, it doesn't need a break. And it can work, 10 times, 100 times faster than a human can. So in terms of finance, I think artificial intelligence is huge, very interesting. There's a lot of other major developments going on in finance, but one thing I'm a bit concerned about is the speed that technology is evolving, because especially with finance, there's a lot of risk, of course, even without technology. But when you talk about cybersecurity, hacking, this kind of thing, it gets a bit dangerous. And another thing we've seen this year is, especially the last few weeks, Bitcoin going crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
goes up, goes down, and eventually goes crazy. Yeah, climbing to new height. Like, what is the price right now? Like 10,500.
I think 10,500, and it's just one example of how hard it is to regulate new technology, whether it's in finance or any other kind of thing. Like China this year, a lot of major Bitcoin exchanges were closed in September. We saw
you cannot even exchange Bitcoin back to renminbi.
Yeah, and it's not just China as well. South Korea, they've banned ICOs, international coin offerings.
Yeah, that could lead to too many like frauds.
There's always risk, and it's really hard to find that balance between innovation and safety. Yeah, exactly. What else has impressed you so far these few days at the conference?
Well, as a tech nerd, I would interested in a lot of things that those big tech companies have already shared with us. It's like, I think Apple CEO Tim Cook was here.
Tim Cook?
Tim Cook was here. Today or yesterday, I don't really know exactly which date it is because I didn't met him personally. So, but there's photos circulating on the internet. Like Tim Cook standing there, being surrounded by loads of photographers. So
it makes sense. Apple being so big in China, he just had the new iPhone X, iPhone 8 coming out. Yeah, of course he's going to be here. It's a huge market for him.
Yeah, a lot of media are surprised by the fact that there are more and more internationally famous company leaders are coming to China to join this World Internet Conference, because this is the fourth round of this conference. So in 4 years ago, when this conference was first opened, there is no congratulation letter from the top officials. There is no maybe just mostly just some Chinese companies sharing their latest developments with each other.
Quite low key.
Yeah, which might be already been shared for times. So, but now with the government's push and and China being more and more important in this area, in the tech innovation, so this conference is getting more and more important. But there is still a problem with this conference, because the official that raised the idea of this conference, who is now maybe under investment
under
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under investigation. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but who knows what the future of this conference is? We're in the 4th year now. Looking ahead, well, I think being here, we've been able to see how big this event has become. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, all of the biggest names in the Chinese tech industry are here.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, we were out walking, and then suddenly Jack Ma was on a golf buggy driving past us.
Just past us.
Yeah, and but the number of forums going on as well. Like it's day 2, 6 o'clock. It's dinner time for a lot of people. But just
Yeah.
next door, there's a sub forum going on about cybersecurity. There's so much going on. Originally, our business anchor Chung Lei was meant to join us, and she would have had loads of interesting stuff to say. But sadly, she's a very busy woman. This is a very busy forum, so she couldn't join us. Let's talk a bit about why are we here in Wuzhen? I mean, it's an ancient water town. What does an ancient water town have to do with the internet? What do you think about that?
Actually, I don't really know. I'm very curious about this too. Like, why China, or the government, or the Chinese internet community has chosen this place to be to be the place that they talk, they share their ideas. It might be possible that this is like they have built this town into a traditional Chinese culture themed. It's like a theme park actually, like a grand demonstration of China's of the old Chinese culture, and they have these really old-fashioned structures that built along the river, and it's very beautiful. Our culture section has already covered that already. If you check our previous lives, you will definitely find very good views, very good videos, and cool pictures about Wuzhen's scenery, especially at night.
Yeah, and I think, because I've been a bit confused about this as well. Why Wuzhen, you know? I mean, China has loads of tech hubs like Shenzhen, Hangzhou, but they choose a little ancient water town like here. But I guess it kind of shows, it kind of symbolizes China, you know? It's an ancient culture, lots of traditions, but it's also really embracing the future. There's a lot of energy here for the internet, technology, and kind of linking the past to the future. I think that's kind of what they're trying to do here in Wuzhen. Yeah.
Yeah, and for Wuzhen, the town itself, because China is still a developing country, so a lot part of this country is still not very developed, so not very rich. There's not enough infrastructure for them to do a lot of things. But still, when you come to Wuzhen, you don't really feel like you're in a town. I think the only thing that make me aware that this is a small town is that there's not enough people here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty quiet place. Let's move back on to technology, and this is always an interesting question. Like maybe 5 years ago, if you'd have said where would China be in 2017 in terms of technology, you probably wouldn't have imagined that you'd have sharing bikes like Ofo, Mobike, or all of the incredible apps that are available today. So where do you see China in 5 or 10 years when it comes to the internet?
So you mean 5 or 10 years ago to now, or now to 5 years later?
2022.
2022. Where is China? I can't say, because we have previous experiences that it is already evolving too fast for us to imagine. So it is highly possible that it would only evolve faster.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see 5G internet technology in maybe 2020.
Yeah. In 2020 there will be 5G, and they will try to spread it as fast as possible, of course. And the 5G, what 5G will bring us is like is very low latency in internet transmission. So it will allow things like a doctor operating surgeon machine, and the machine at a remote place thousands of kilometers away would replicate his actions. So it would allow remote surgery, and even it could not only it is not only about the surgeries, like those detailed things. What about education? real-time remote education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's going to bring
Hmm.
communities in rural China, join them together with urban communities. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about what your life is going to be like in the future, leave us some comments on on your views. But we were talking yesterday to someone who's kind of researching about the Internet of Things,
Hmm.
right? And that's going to really rely on 5G technology, where you'll be able to walk in your house, control the lights, the curtains, with the just using your voice.
Hmm.
In fact, this is already available, this
Yeah.
kind of technology, and it's just
Yeah.
going to get better and better, right?
Yeah, because there are a lot of companies are doing that right now in China, like Xiaomi. Xiaomi's way is like is going to open all the things it wants to provide. So it find a company maybe in Shenzhen or in Shanghai that is already producing products, electronic like or smart objects, and they acquire the company or rebrand the company as Xiaomi. So and there are other approaches like the guy we interviewed yesterday
Yeah.
from Tuya Smart, and his way of doing it is also very interesting. They created a platform so to join the to be the joint between Google Home, Apple's HomeKit, and so these kind of APIs.
Yeah.
He's kind of joined them together. So if you were running a startup company, it would be hard for you to get qualified in the competitions of applications to those platform. Maybe they won't involve you because you're too small. But now with this platform, it's like this reselling the certificate to the smaller enterprises. So the startup company can also share this high technology platform. So it just make it more available to the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
This is it's like a public affair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And another thing I was reading earlier today actually was about the new Bado satellite navigation system.
Mhm.
So I'm sure all of you out there use GPS on your phones. I mean,
Of course.
it's covering the whole world, literally,
Yeah.
But this Bado satellite navigation system, which China is developing, that's going to be able to pinpoint your exact location to within centimeters. It's or
What I heard is from the first stage it will be like 1 meters. So if you have much experience with GPS, there is always the trouble that sometimes in a really narrow road, it cannot tell if you're in which side of the road you're in.
yeah. So your DD driver gets a bit lost sometimes.
Yeah,
Or your Uber
sometime.
driver. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe for Uber driver, he may have to travel a lot further to get across the street,
Yeah.
while this is completely not needed, not necessary.
Yeah.
So with Bado, if Bado can really achieve 1 meter precision, so this problem will be instantly solved. And there is a provisions that Bado could achieve even better precision, but I think maybe we would just wait and see because there's not enough satellites in the space to do it yet. So China will launch like I think more than a dozen more satellites for the Bado
Wow.
navigation system to make it literally cover the world too. And that would be great. And there's another really important feature about Bado is like if you use GPS, your phone is just a receiver of the signal. So the only communication you can do from your phone between your phone and the GPS satellite is to giving the location to each other. But for Bado, there is one more thing. With the chip inside your phone can send text messages to the satellite.
So you can communicate directly with a satellite out in space.
Yeah, and even maybe communicate with other people using the same satellite system.
Yeah.
So and according to the creator of or the engineers of the Bado system, what they want to put it into use is in the emergency first. So if you're on a boat in the river or you're on a boat in the sea and sometimes emergency happen and you're in danger, so you want to send SOS signals, and sometimes it's not possible. You don't have enough tools to create something that people can see, and it is in the sea. So there might be no cell phone signal available.
Yeah, if you send a flare, no
Yeah.
one's going to see it, you know.
Yeah,
That's-
it is highly possible. So with the Bado communication satellite, it is possible that you can send out your SOS message
Mm.
to others to let the ships nearby to rescue. That could be really great.
I always think with this kind of event, like the World Internet Conference, there's so much going on, so much being said. But one thing which I always find interesting is what isn't being talked about. So, you know, there's so many different buzzwords, Internet of Things, sharing economy is not really being mentioned this year, the sharing economy.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, maybe 2015, 2016, we really saw the rise of shared bikes, OFO and Mobike. This year, we've kind of seen the negative side of the sharing economy.
Yeah.
So, you know, Blue Go went bust a few weeks ago, I think.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was the third biggest sharing bike company in China.
Yeah, I'm using it.
Yeah, and you know, pavements are littered with these bikes across Chinese cities. So this is kind of symbolic of technology in China developing a little bit too quickly. Do you think?
Yeah.
There's so Chung Lei just now, she was talking to investors and how they see the internet, you know, how it's going to lead their investments in the future. And one thing I see in China is you get something really cool, a really cool product, but everyone goes to it, everyone invests. We had this a couple of years ago as well with Didi Chuxing, and you know, it was forced to merge together.
Yeah, we're kind of crazy. Yeah,
Mm.
they're always like people are going crazy about investing into the latest technology developments. Yeah.
Yeah, and it leads to big problems and overinvestment, and eventually companies like Blue go bust. And you know, did you get your deposit back?
No, because you know, to use shared bike, you have to deposit money first, deposit some a little money, so maybe just a bit cheaper than the bike itself. So
99 yuan.
yeah, 99 yuan, like at like $17.
Yeah.
About $17. So, and after the deposit, you use when you use it, you have to pay extra money, like one yuan a time or something. But when you stop using this service, you eventually will get the deposit back. But that's not the case in reality, because the only time that you will think of a deposit is when the company goes down. You should, if the service is good, you will continue to use it. So when you recognize that the service is not available, the company is already gone. So there's no place for you to take the deposit back.
Yep, and that harms public trust in these tech companies. You know, I mean, it's really cool being able to just ride a bike wherever you want, but when your money just falls into a hole, paying a company's debts, you're going to lose public confidence. Okay, another area which I haven't really heard at all at this year's conference is esports. Now I know you're a big fan. I'm sure you're going to talk for quite a while in a minute about this, but it's a huge industry, isn't it? Already in China, South Korea, heading out to the west.
It's getting matured.
Yep. And you know, even the Asia Games 2022, esports is going to be considered a medal-winning sport. So this is another side of the internet economy, which is worth billions and billions of dollars, and because it's I don't know, it's not being talked about. Why do you think that is?
Well, I can't see the reason behind this. Maybe entertainment is not the focus of this conference. I don't know, but this year's theme is mostly about economy. So how the fintech and the technology moves the economy forward. But like
entertainment is a huge part of the digital economy. So.
Yeah, but yeah, there's not much people talking about this. There's not even a dedicated sub-forum for the entertainment section. So maybe this is it might be because this event is held by Chinese government. So they will only talk about some serious stuff, what they consider serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like so mostly political and international cooperation, and to drive the economy forward. So this kind of things. So that might be the reason why they put the theme like this to like let it drive the economy forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And I think this kind of conference, it always seems to get dominated by big names, you know. So, of course, Alibaba, Baidu, Tencent, the BAT branch of Chinese tech giants, they kind of dominate. And maybe, do you think startups aren't getting their voices heard as much as they would have done a few years ago?
Yeah, this is also what I see a trouble in China's internet section. It's like when 10 years ago, when there's no iPhone in the world, a lot of people in Zhongguancun or in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Shenzhen are considering setting up their own company because they have visions of internet because it is a vast mine that everyone can join digging, but 10 years later, when we look at the entrepreneurs or or the smaller investors in the country, their dream has turned from being the dominant of the internet to just a part of Tencent.
Yeah.
So being acquired by Tencent is now something that you will be really happy about. So that is not the thing like 10 years ago. If Tencent is offering to buy your company, you think it for quite a while because maybe I can create a company larger than Tencent. But now I think no one dare thinking about it because it's already a larger company than maybe some famous names in the West.
Yeah, I think just a few weeks ago it had a market cap of $500 billion. You know, only companies like Facebook, Amazon, Google have that kind of wealth.
Scale.
Yeah, but there's disadvantages, of course, of having these huge tech companies dominate in China, but also there's advantages too. We were walking around a few days ago at the exhibition here. Was it called the Light of the Internet? And I was very interested to see. So Alibaba is working very, very heavily on poverty alleviation. So it's got massive amounts of money. The technology is amazing, and it's putting that towards poverty alleviation. And you were telling me as well that Tencent, they're focusing on medical care and using technology to improve hospitals, people's health.
Make people live longer.
Yeah. And Baidu as well, they're really leading the way with autonomous vehicles, how we're going to get around in the future. So these enormous companies, they're huge, but they are putting that money to good use.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know that a company's job is to get money, to accumulate money, but it might not be the same for a person. So if a company has money, the job for it is to create more money. But for a person, if a person has money, I think a person would think of what he can do for the society, what a person can do for others.
Yeah.
Because when you reach your satisfaction, so you might want more, but this may not be the main drive you're living. Just like Jack Ma said, or some big names in Chinese. This is a big meme in China actually. It's like the tycoons are talking about their emptiness at heart.
Yeah.
Like Jack Ma said, like Wang Jianlin, used to be the richest man. I don't know if he still is today.
Number two, maybe.
Yeah, top 3 richest people in this country. And he loved to sing the song "I Have Nothing." So for Jack Ma, he also said something like this. I think he said, "I never care about money."
Yeah.
Things like this.
Well, that is really interesting, and especially here, the Chinese government does have a big role in kind of directing these companies towards investing in important things, but also it seems to be a fairly natural thing in business where you make so much money, you don't know what to do with it. You do something good with it. We've seen that with Bill Gates, formerly the richest man in the world. He's giving loads of his fortune away. Mark Zuckerberg as well. He's promised to do the same, and Chinese tech leaders are also doing the same now. And yeah, one last thing. I think we've been talking for ages now. We'll wrap up quite quickly. These tech giants again, Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, huge in China. They're getting there overseas, but they seem to be struggling a little bit with competition, especially in the US and Europe, because there are already big tech giants out there, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. What do you think these companies need to do, or what products do they need to make to really push themselves overseas?
Okay, I don't think I have the vision to answer this kind of big question.
This is a bit of a
Yeah,
tough
the
one.
big question is a big question.
Yeah.
It's a big topic actually. Maybe you can invite many people to talk about this.
Yeah.
And we have already asked questions similar like this to those tycoons, to like vice president of Microsoft Global Business.
Yeah.
So persons like them. So we have recorded videos of them, and we will put them online on our platforms like YouTube and our app, of course. So if you're really interested in their answer, you can wait. You can just maybe log into our app and or check our Facebook page and to find those answers. We are posting this in like 1 or 2 days. We're working on it. So we will try. There's still 1 day to go for this conference. So we will try to reach more to reach more people and reach more of their views. So maybe I recommend you to stay tuned with CGTN to find out more about China's internet and how China's internet, the way of developing internet, is affecting the whole world.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, leave your comments below if you have any questions. Please let us know. We'll be back again tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. We hope so. We hope to join you again tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's all we have time for now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we better say goodbye, Lan. Have a good day, and keep watching us on CGTN. Bye-bye.